folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and welcome back to another Minecraft mod spotlight video, where today we're taking a look at a really cool mod available for Fabric called Camera Utils, which has a lot of really cool features. We're going to take a look at three in particular, the ones that I think are sort of the most standout about the mod. The first off being that you can detach the camera from your in-game avatar entirely, which offers up a lot of really cool opportunities, especially if you make sort of machinima-style content in Minecraft, and you can snap it right back with the press of a button. I think this also opens up a lot of really cool survival challenges. For example, let's say you build a box that you have to stay inside of, and then part of the challenge is you have to do everything from a top-down view. I think this would make for a pretty interesting Let's Play, or at least a video or two. I think I would definitely get sick of it after a while. But again, with the press of a button, you're right back to your first-person perspective. And I do want to point out that the key for that, as well as most of the keys in the mod, are not set up by default. So let's have a look at those real quick. Go to your controls, keybinds, scroll. Depending on how many mods you have, it should be close to the bottom. And you'll find your Camera Utils and Camera Utils settings. By default, detached camera and third-person offset modifier are not set. I set those to V and B, but you can set them to whatever you want. Those were just close to my thumb. Now, as cool as this feature is, and I think that it is pretty cool, it's not the reason I actually wanted to take a look at this mod. In a recent video and subsequent short that I made, I said that I thought it would be cool if Mojang added the ability to scroll out when you're in third person. So if we snap back in here and go to third person, currently you're locked to being right behind your own head and you can't see much of the world around you. One of the recommendations I got from a lot of folks was, well, use the FOV slider, which it kind of accomplishes that goal, but it also warps everything. Like, look how stretched out stuff gets on the sides. This isn't exactly what I wanted, so I went on the search to find a mod that did what I was looking for, and it turns out this mod does. Using the key modifier that we set up moments ago, which in this case is V, if you hold it down while in third person and then scroll your mouse wheel, it will allow you to create an offset. It goes pretty far back as well. In fact, it goes really far back. See, what I was thinking was Mojang could give us the ability to go back maybe about that far. Like, that seems pretty useful, depending on what you're doing. But this mod lets you go a lot further than that. I think it goes up to about 28? Yeah, right at 28, which is crazy. Now, obviously, if you put something between yourself and your character, you're going to snap to pretty quickly, which I can see maybe being a little disorienting, especially if you're right up against a building. Just snaps in and out like that, but I think this is really cool. See, we could have this. We could have this, and it would be cool if Mojang wasn't so busy trying to make sure that the color of sheep's wool in various biomes made sense scientifically, because in a game where a giant green sausage can blow you up, we need to worry about the realistic colors of sheep wool. This is the thing that I really liked about this mod, and this was the main thing I wanted to talk about, was the third-person offset, which, by the way, you can also invert to get really uncomfortably close to yourself if you wanted to. Now, I don't know what kind of a strange challenge this would be. I guess Minecraft, but you can barely see anything playthrough. I wouldn't advise it, to be honest with you. But there is actually yet another really cool feature, which is a built-in zoom. So you press Z, and it zooms in. And if it doesn't zoom in far enough for you, you can use the mouse wheel to increase it all the way up to 100%. And at this point, what you've got is basically a built-in, always-on, full-screen magnifying glass, or I guess, spyglass. Now, 100%, this zooms in the exact same amount as the spyglass, as you can see. The difference being the spyglass cuts off the sides, whereas this zooms in your entire screen. It's also adjustable, in case you need to see more, but just a little bit more up close, and also it does not require an item in your inventory, so that's pretty nifty. What's really interesting about this, though, is that you can actually invert it. So, yeah, you can go up to 100%, but you can also go into the negatives, and you might think, okay, well, what use does that have? I have no idea, but I discovered something interesting with it. Now, this requires some setup, so let's say you hit your third-person camera and you just set it to the default offset, right? And then you set your zoom all the way out to -100%. And then, don't ask me how I figured this out or why I was even doing it, but set FOV to Quake Pro, okay? Now start walking, all right? Walk in normal speed. Hit the negative zoom. Looks like you're going really fast all of a sudden, just because of how everything gets warped around you, okay? But now watch this. Start sprinting. and hit the negative zoom. It flips the screen. I don't know why. It also looks like you're going ludicrously fast, but it flips the screen. However, you can undo that by zooming back in to about 84. Of course, that does whatever's happening here, but zooming back in again to about 80% gives you this. And if we take it into 75, I mean, it looks cool, but it's also the most disorienting way I think you could possibly play Minecraft. Heaven help me, look at this. That's it for Camera Utils today. Those are the three main features I wanted to talk about. The built-in zoom, which is really cool. The really nice ability to bring the third-person offset back, which I think is pretty cool. And the ability to detach the camera, which I think makes for some really cool situations and scenarios. Until next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless you. You'll find a link to this mod down below, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.